No, I think I finally found out the worst part about being a freaking YouTuber. So, just finished recording this video, took all this stuff downstairs, came up, was about to start editing, and then I realized my microphone wasn't on the whole time. One sec, let me get this hair out of my face. I'm gonna use one of these things today. Okay, round two, let's do this again, rapid fire. We got this. Hey guys, my name is George and welcome back to my channel. And today, for the second time, we're gonna be talking about supplements. Right, so the last video I recorded was actually really long, so I'm gonna try and make it a bit snappier. But before we talk about any of these things, I wanna be honest with you guys and say you don't need a single one of these products or supplements. They're completely optional. A lot of them are very minuscule with the changes they'll make, and some of them potentially could even be placebo. Supplements as a whole, the industry isn't ideal. I think most of them are just trying to sell you stuff. They sell you dreams, and most of them don't do almost anything at all. Stick to the classic three, which is working really hard, sticking very strictly to a good diet and consistency. All right, those will get you real results. These can be a lot of fun, which is the reason why I have so many and why I experiment with so many, but do not rely on them for anything, okay? Let's get into the video. I'm gonna go through everything I have been taking recently. Then at the end, I'll tell you guys what I actually recommend you getting. Also, it's important to keep in mind that I don't take all this stuff every day. I'm also not like a scientist or anything, so everything I know or say is gonna be from my own research, and I'm definitely not gonna go into too much depth about it. I'll mention a supplement and what I believe it does, but don't take my word for it. If you find it interesting, go do your own research. I feel like I'm pretty well informed, but you never know. I'm just some guy on the internet. Go do your own research. Anyways, let's get into my workout supplements and stuff. Okay, let's start with my favorite pre-workout and probably the one you already have in your house without even realizing it. It's coffee, all right? With coffee, it's pretty obvious, right? Everyone takes it before they go to work in the mornings because they want energy, right? So it's pretty obviously gonna give you energy. Beyond energy, caffeine can actually help you burn some fat, and it can actually help you preserve glycogen stores in your muscles, which basically helps you work out for longer without them getting fatigued. On keto, this is actually really good because your glycogen is lower as it is, you're not eating carbs. So coffee, pretty damn good. Having said that, coffee isn't perfect. I find that coffee makes people, including myself, quite jittery and somewhat unfocused. When I take a glass of coffee, I feel a sort of fuzziness in my head, and I don't have as much of a mental drive to get my last couple of reps in. This is where theanine comes into play. Theanine basically lets me preserve all the good parts about coffee, but also have that ultra focused mental space where I can push through those last couple of reps extra hard because of my mental drive. That's the first powder that I can mix into my coffee. I don't like taking pre-workouts that are pre-made because they usually include a load of junk that I don't want in my body. I also really like controlling exactly how much or what I'm putting in my coffee, but I will not recommend you put all this stuff that I'm about to tell you in your coffee, because I do that and it is disgusting. It tastes like vomit. So if you feel like you want to try these things, maybe find a different way of trying them. But as a lot of you guys know, I fast. So in the morning, I don't want to break my fast, and a black coffee is all I have. I put these things in the black coffee. It doesn't break my fast, but it's disgusting. Is it worth it? Probably not, but I'm a weirdo, so what can I say? So the next supplement powder that I put into my coffee sometimes is beta-alanine. Now, this is probably what you'll see most commonly in most pre-made pre-workout powders. Long story short, it helps increase carnosine levels, which basically helps reduce the acid levels in your muscles when you're working out. Therefore, fatigue is going to be lower overall, and you can get more sets in before your muscles start fatiguing. Then we've got L-carnitine, which is pretty damn good if you want your body to become more efficient at burning fat. It also really helps with having more energy during and after a workout, so L-carnitine. Lastly, as a pre-workout, sometimes use citrulline malate. Basically just increases the amount of oxygen in your muscles, which will help with performance. So I know I breezed over all of those. Yet again, like I was saying it before, do your own research. I don't want to get too scientific in this video. Those are the pre-workouts that I take. Now, during the workout, I do actually take something. Guys, last time I checked, we were on 9.5K. Which means we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Just keep clicking that subscribe button. leave a like, leave a comment telling me what you generally think about supplements and what you take, and follow my Instagram at Jorge Fernando. Still got the rest of the basket to go through, so let's get back to the video. During my workout, I drink 1.2 liters of water, and inside of that water, I add electrolyte powder. Little story time. Basically, electrolyte powder isn't super popular amongst the bodybuilding community, but I found myself cramping a lot during the nights after I've been working out, especially my legs. And I did some research into it, and I found it could have been something to do with my electrolytes. I then bought this electrolyte powder, started adding it to my water, and I instantly found that it helped quite a lot. Funnily enough, I've actually recommended this to my dad as well. He doesn't go to the gym, but he does work in a very physically intensive job, and maybe it's genetic between both of us, but it has really helped with both of us. And when I stop taking it, I do notice that it comes back. So I'm not saying it's the cure, but I definitely think the problem is when you're drinking a lot of water at the gym and you're working out hard, you're wasting away those electrolytes and you're not replenishing them, you're gonna start cramping. I think it's as simple as that. So I would definitely recommend that if you're experiencing some cramping. If you're not, probably not necessary, but it's never gonna hurt to have a few more electrolytes in your body. A few other things that electrolyte powder is said to be good at is controlling fluid balance, regulating blood pressure, helping muscles contract, including the heart, and maintaining correct acidity of your blood, so like the pH level. So that's all I take during workout, basically just water with a little bit of electrolytes. Now after my workout, I take a few more powders, one of which I barely consider a supplement, it's almost food, and this is the classic protein. Now the one I choose to take is Isopure, and I always take a whey protein isolate. It's always gonna be isolate rather than concentrate. I don't like the fact that concentrates put carbs in them sometimes and other stuff that I don't want. I'm a really big believer that mass gainers are not good. Just eat more real food and have protein isolate. Mass gainers are just gonna load up with a bunch of junk, which you probably don't want. I really like Isopure as a company. It's good for keto as well, it's 0 carbs. As a lot of you guys know, I cycle through carbs. I do cyclical keto, and when I'm cycling off of keto and onto carbs, I like varying up my protein, and I take some pea protein, which is probably one of the best vegan proteins other than hemp protein. I really like the brand Sun Warrior. Any of their Protein Warrior blends, any flavor is quite good. I've tried almost all of them. It does have a little bit more carbs, but it's very clean ingredients, and would recommend this one. So in my protein shakes, I add 2 more powders: creatine and collagen. Creatine is probably one of the most well-known, well-researched, and well-proven performance enhancing supplements that is out there. It helps your muscles produce energy when heavy lifting or high intensity training. It also helps just gain muscle and improve strength as well as exercise performance. Another thing I noticed is that on keto, it works quite well because water retention in the muscles is a lot less due to not eating carbs. Therefore, creatine bringing that water back in isn't gonna hurt. Also, if you want a fuller look, creatine is good for that, though you might wanna be careful not to overdo it because you might start looking a little bit puffy. And also the second you get off of it, you're gonna lose all that water weight, so you're gonna look smaller straight away. Another downside that some people have noticed with creatine is that if you're prone to possible hair loss, it might help accelerate that process of losing hair. I personally haven't noticed anything. I don't think I'm very prone to like early hair loss or anything like that. So the effect it has on my DHT, it doesn't seem to be making me lose hair. But I know people who say the exact opposite and say their hairline recedes straight away after they start taking creatine for like a couple months. Definitely be aware of that, depending on what your hair loss is like. And then I take collagen as well. So not only do I go to the gym, but I also like calisthenics training, both of which are quite intense on your tendons, joints, ligaments, and stuff like that. That's why I take collagen. It basically exerts an anabolic effect on cartilage tissue. It can help with muscle growth, but it can also help with joint health, ligaments, and tendons as well. And that's pretty much it for the powders. Now I do have a few tablets and soft gels, which I'll talk about, but I'm not gonna actually go into detail about them. I'll just go through them really quick. So I take magnesium and iodine, which you can pretty much only get from seaweed. So if you don't eat seaweed, you're probably deficient in it. Omega-3s in the form of either krill oil, which is basically a higher quality version of fish oil, if I'm cycling off, similar to the protein, algae oil. And I take vitamin C and DIM, which is really underrated because it's good for hormone regulation and estrogens. And that's everything. That's a lot. I know, right? It's quite a lot, and I definitely don't think you should buy almost any of it. If I had to recommend one thing for pre-workouts, it would definitely just be the coffee. It would just be the coffee, nothing else. During a workout, I would recommend electrolyte powder if you are experiencing really bad cramping. Post-workout, I would recommend a protein isolate. However, I would not recommend you substitute it with food. It is kind of like food, but food is more important. I think it's really good if you're trying to hit a higher content of protein. Depending on your goals, you might want to put on some mass. It's definitely not a replacement for food, but it is a good way of reaching your protein macro goal for the day. And when it comes to tablets and soft gels, I would recommend omega-3, magnesium and iodine. That's about it, guys. That's about it. I really hope you could hear me this whole time because my microphone was literally inside of my t-shirt. Thanks for watching, you guys, and peace.